There are so many great characters in Star Wars, and everyone's got their own favorites. With such a vast universe that kept evolving over the years, we've gotten some great characters, some bad characters, and others that you probably forgot existed. I want to talk about my personal favorites in this video. Also, my list can change over time, so this is definitely subject to change. I just want to put that out there. Also, it's not in any specific order or anything. But without any further boring introductions, let's get started. The first character I want to talk about is Palpatine. Just the fact that he is 100% evil with zero goodness inside of him makes him stand out to me. While Vader eventually got redeemed in Episode 6, Palpatine never had any desire to do so. I absolutely love how Ian McDiarmid portrayed him in the movies as a manipulative, charismatic politician who climbed up the ranks of the Republic and turned it into his own empire. The Darth Plagueis book from the EU gave us more insight into his early life and lets us see how he came into contact with Plagueis. Palpatine is just such an iconic villain and helps make Star Wars that much better. While on the topic of Star Wars villains, I want to talk about another popular character, that being Darth Maul. Darth Maul is one of the few good things that came out of Episode 1, and they really dropped the ball when they decided to kill him. Thankfully, they brought him back in the Clone Wars and gave him some phenomenal episodes along with a more developed backstory. And while he wasn't the first person to show the world a double-bladed lightsaber since it was first shown in an old Tales of the Jedi comic from 1997, he was the first to actually popularize it. We got to see how one would use a double-bladed lightsaber as compared to a single-bladed one. What's really cool is that we also see him use a single-bladed one in the Clone Wars for a while, which shows us how he is so good at adapting. Overall, there is just so much to like about Maul, and his design is phenomenal. R2-D2 is an OG character that still stands the test of time. What I like about him is how he can't actually speak normally to people, but has to use other sounds to communicate. Even though I don't care much for C-3PO, I enjoy seeing their friendship throughout the movies. He's incredibly useful and offers help whenever the other characters need it. The newest character on the list, Baby Yoda, is also another character that I really like. We've seen other baby versions of species before, like Rada the Hutt, but nothing as mind-blowing as a baby of Yoda's species. Just like R2, he doesn't really talk as of now, but he is still enjoyable when he is on screen. It was really cool seeing him use the Force for the first time, and I really liked seeing him train with Luke. Possibly my favorite character on this list is Anakin. He's pretty much the main character of the entire saga, and I enjoy seeing his descent into villainy in the prequels. It's kind of funny how Luke was pretty much the main character of the original trilogy, but eventually Anakin became the main character of the whole saga. I find it fascinating how much depth they were able to add to Vader by showing us his backstory. I personally really liked the whole Chosen One prophecy, and seeing him fulfill that prophecy in Episode 6. Another OG character on this list is Han Solo. When we were first introduced to Han, he comes across as this really cool guy with questionable morals. He doesn't hesitate to shoot first, at least until the special editions, that is. It is enjoyable seeing his friendship with Chewbacca and also his attachment to the Millennium Falcon. I also like seeing his relationship with Leia throughout the films, and I love seeing him come back to help the Rebels during the attack on the Death Star in Episode 4. However, the Solo movie was kinda mid and didn't really need to exist. Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors, and I'm really curious as to how the next Indiana Jones movie will turn out. Yoda is such an iconic character in pop culture, and is also a favorite of mine. The first time we see him in Episode 5, he acts differently to test Luke before we see that he is actually a wise Jedi Master. I also like seeing the contrast between him as a puppet and him as a CG character. He has a unique speaking pattern, and to this day, no one knows what his species is called, which I think is actually pretty cool. He had a really great arc at the end of Season 6 of the Clone Wars, where he learns more about the Force and also fights an evil version of himself. There are many more characters that I like in Star Wars, but as of now, these are my favorites. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite characters are in the comments. Also, feel free to subscribe if you liked what you saw, and as always, may the Force be with you.